So, this is gonna be a new video series, more details in the description, including the videos of the solves themselves. So, this first scramble over here is Cavan's 5.5 solve, and it's interesting because of what he chose to do in second block. So, for this first block, DL is already placed, and you have this pair over here, and this B2 insert. But instead of doing kind of like B2RF to solve your first block, he kind of saw this pair and probably wanted to preserve it. So he inserted this back pair like this. And then he inserted the front pair like that. And he has this kind of free pair over here. But instead of going into DR, what he does is solve this pair and then solve the back pair and then insert DR. So what he did was probably notice that this was like a white on top, and if he did an R, it would go into the D layer, which isn't ideal. So he did a U move and then an R to set it up so that it isn't white on top. Then he solves this pair at the back like this, and then inserted his DR edge like this. Then for CML, he solved this case, so he did that. And over here, he probably wanted to fix centers, so what he did was a normal R instead of a wide R, and then carry on. And for EO, he decided to do this EOLR. And he usually doesn't do EOLR, but he did this case like this, and then this pair, and then M2 to insert, and solve 4C. So yeah, you could probably learn something from the second block solution. And this one was the scramble that I kind of messed up in my 7.69 average of 5. But basically what I saw was this pair over here, and then DL's over here, and I have a pair like this, and my DR's over here. So instead of solving this pair like that, which breaks DR, I moved it here, and then this inserts DR directly. So I just did a B2 first to solve the square, and then a U and insert this pair. And I didn't actually see this free pair over here. So I looked for pieces and I saw that this needed a pair of that, so I did that. And then inserted this at the back. Then I saw that I had a free pair, so I did an R wide here and insert the pair. And over here I panicked. So I did like U prime and then U prime, and I was like, I don't execute CML from this angle because I usually use this AUG. But because I knew this AUG and used to use it before, I decided to use it for some reason. So that's why I had this large pause. So I did the AUG like that. And over here, I couldn't really find anything. So I think I did a U here, and then I saw that I had this EOLR. So for this, it's like a misoriented center solution where you kind of do that, and then move this over to the back, and then do another M prime, and you have this stack tower at the back. And this led to a 4C skip essentially. So yeah, that solve was pretty efficient, and it kind of shows the power of misoriented centers, because both the EOLR and, well, 4C in this case was luck, but the EOLR was really short, and it's around 2 moves shorter than it would be with oriented centers. So sometimes misoriented centers is pretty useful for LSE. And for this third and last solve, we have Dwayne's 5.62 solve that he did. So this one had 8 TPS, so that's mainly where the speed came from, but apart from that, there was also this and that. So it's a 1 move first block, but the smart thing to do would be to kind of set up DR over here. So it becomes a 2 move first block, but then with a better continuation. So what he probably saw was when he inserts this with DR over here, and he does his B, this kind of becomes like that pair, and then after an R to solve DR, you get like a double back sexy. So yeah, that's what he probably inspected. So he did it from this angle, like F prime, U, and then R, and solve this pair. And he solved this pair in a weird manner. He did this. He did a U2 first, and then paired it outside, and then did a U2 and paired this. So the better thing to do would be the obvious solution that most of you should know, which is just that. And it leads to a better continuation too, which is kind of unfortunate. But anyways, what he then did was this CMOO. So he did that. And one cool thing about doing solves is that he doesn't regrip straight away to his MU grip. He starts off in this grip where he can't really do a proper M2 with middle ring. But a trade-off for that is that he can do U prime moves quite easily. So he does something like that. But his grip generally is very solid, and he can do a lot of U primes. So some of the EOLRs that are quite bad if you keep having to do that are actually made like okay. And it also makes the transition between CMO and LSE less bad. But then you do have an extra transition to do between EO and 4B and 4C. So yeah, there's that to consider. But anyways, hopefully I'll keep doing this.